It was my first time actually walking back to Gaza after many years of the siege and my family unable to enter. And that time and that project and that meeting have moved me toward Emma Shamba and the work that she's doing, and also personally in the way she guided, together also with Dina Awwad, Habibti Dina, a Palestinian also activist, a writer that writes beautifully as well, brings dance and body movement into the space of activism, speaks it through also to me and teaches me how to guide, teaches me how to become more of who we are as Palestinian women and to speak up and to join partnership deeply, whether it's a war or a genocide or a starvation. We continue together and our partnership is beyond this systematic oppression. I wish you a blessed time with them and I know you will be deeply, deeply blessed and touched by them. Thank you again, Emma and Dina, and we give it to you and we honor you, all of you. Thank you.
Hmm. Wow. Deep words, deep beginning. I have so much respect for this initiative to have a hunger strike at that time and be with the hungry souls and hungry people. Yeah. And when you shared now, it reminded me of our first encounter, May. Uh, yeah, I think it was 6 years ago when we gathered together next to Kibbutz Be'eri and had a camp for 2 days, a retreat. It was also times of war. And we wanted to bear witness to the situation in Gaza. From that place where we stayed, had a walk to the fence. We could see we couldn't enter, of course, but we could see the houses of Gaza. We could feel how close we are to the people. We invited dreams, we invited inner work. At the end of that retreat, we got to know through Zoom a woman from Gaza that entered my heart, our heart. She heard about our retreat, like you heard about this meeting now, and joined the meeting with us, even though it was dangerous. It was then Hamas was threatening that people would be arrested if they joined this call. And she joined, and from this started a journey where we helped her already 6 years ago to flee from Gaza. Now she's in Portugal. Hanin, some of you may know her. So yeah, what a journey. We met actually at the same time, you and me and Hanin. And I'm here like today with Dina, who have a much longer journey actually. Dina and I had a dream for 15 years to create a peace research village in the Middle East. Maybe something similar in its spirit, in its core to what SATYAM is doing to bring together people and create a model for what is possible, how people can speak with each other, feel each other's pain, feel each other's joy. It's also important that we feel each other's joy and connect on a deep level. This vision didn't manifest as we imagined or wanted, but the deep connections that were created there moved us forward. And one of the projects that Dina and I had created, um, also around 6 years ago, was Etty Hillesum cards. Um, we when we got to know each other, I gave Dina a card, a quote from Etty Hillesum, who was a Dutch woman from Holland who was killed in the Holocaust. And I was holding ceremonies at that time. Later on, Dina became a co-leader of this ceremony every year in the Holocaust Memorial Day, acknowledging that the collective trauma of the Holocaust has a big effect and a big impact on what's happening nowadays, on what's happening in the conflict between Israelis and Palestinians. And if we want to heal, if we want to solve this conflict, we need to engage in healing collective trauma and listening and getting to know also the trauma of both nations. And we felt that Etty Hillesum is a big inspiration for this path of healing collective trauma because she wrote diaries in the times of the Holocaust, but managed to go through a journey that enabled her to stay in times of hatred, free of hatred, in times of dehumanization, free of dehumanization. She could even see the humans in the Germans, in the Nazis that she met, in the Gestapo men that she met. She shares in her journals how she looks at at these soldiers and asks herself what made them become such people, what happened in their childhood, how they were raised, and having pity on them and compassion even on the people who went on a path of violence. So Eddie became like a role model and a deep teacher, I can say, for us, but also personally for me. I keep on learning and learning and learning from her what it means to go on a spiritual path, an activist path, and combine these together. Um, and maybe, Dina, you share some introduction words and then we read from Etty.
I think let's read one
Okay.
part. Hello, everyone. We want
So,
to show you now one of our cards that we will talk more about them, and it will be in the three languages: English, Hebrew, and Arabic. So we'll read them in the three languages.
okay.
So I read the English and then you Hebrew. Okay. Through suffering, I have learned that we must share our love with the whole of creation.
דרך הסבל למדתי שעלינו לחלוק את אהבתנו עם כל הבריאה.
تعلمت من خلال المعاناة أنه علينا أن نشارك محبتنا مع الخلق كلهم.
Mm. We say something more about this. As you can see it here in the three languages, this is one of our cards. And we took quotes from Etty, very short quotes, because we felt beyond reading her diaries, just taking one quote can be a source for contemplation and staying with it and asking ourselves, what does it mean for us? What this sentence that Etty wrote can mean for our inner work. And we can see that nowadays, like the suffering, the personal and the collective suffering, many times causes more hatred, trying to protect and through violence. And how Etty was able, through suffering, to become more compassionate for the suffering of others and for the suffering of everybody with the all of creation, she writes.
Mm.
So, yeah, let's take a moment to connect to what it means for me that my suffering, whatever it is, actually can open me to be in compassion, to be in softness, to be in empathy with the whole of creation, with everybody, including everybody, the whole of creation. And I want to share another quote of Etty, or Dina, you want to say something more about it?
You invited people to take a moment, so give them a moment.
Yeah, yeah, take a moment. Yeah.
Mm. This is a very strong quote because many times in suffering, we feel very alone. And like, think about it on the personal level. When you are in a conflict or in a problem, there's a feeling of loneliness, the feeling I'm the only one suffering. And as a Palestinian who grew up in Beit Sahur, which is East Bethlehem, I thought that actually the whole world, they live in freedom and everything is okay. And we're the only ones suffering. And when I went to do my master's in international relations in Hungary, I started to learn about the conflicts in the world more and more. And I started to understand, okay, there's something much bigger than that. And now reading Etty, yesterday, Emma and I, we teach online. So in our class, she reminded me when she asked me what touched me, what connected me to Etty. And this was also something that May asked me. Why is it so important for you as a Palestinian to talk about a Jewish woman? Yeah. Because many times I'm asked this question, why are you creating cards of a Jewish woman? Create cards and quotes of a Palestinian woman. And when I read the diaries start at the age of 27 when she tries to look for freedom and love first, her own freedom. And I was also 27, where I was having my own questions in the topic of love. And as a Palestinian, we don't learn about the Holocaust. Yeah, as Emma was saying, like again, we hear the word Holocaust, and there's always resistance to know what happened at that time. We know that there were 6 million Jews who were killed, but like, if I think about it at that time, I didn't want to hear about it because I'm just so tired of how Israel is using this trauma, this time of history, just to give excuses for occupation and for killing people on and on and on, that I just don't want to hear about it. And with Etty, I was able to connect to a woman who was a victim and who bear witness on time of history, and just to connect to the personal story. But another thing that was much stronger, that she was a woman who questioned everything. She didn't take things for granted. Like, think about it. We are born and we are given certain titles. Yeah. The name, the family, the religion, the country, the nationality. And we are raised, I have to even sometimes die or kill for what I'm given. But my responsibility as a human being is to question those things. What does it mean for me to be a Palestinian? What does it mean for me to be a woman? What does it mean for me to be a Christian? What does it mean for me now to be a mother? And to find my own answers. I might find a Palestinian woman who's Christian, who's a mother, but she might find different answers for these kind of identities that she's given. And this is what Etty did. She questioned, what does it mean for her to be a Jew? What does it mean for her to be a woman? What are now my reactions, my choices in times of war? And I think this is the main task now for us as human beings. What is now my choices? What are my choices? Yeah. And we always have choices, even when she was in the camp, she chose not to run away. She chose not to hate. She chose to write and to describe what is really happening in the camps. And why is it important? Because for me, through reading her, I learned about the trauma of the other. So I was able to understand. And through learning about her trauma, I understood, or the trauma of the Jewish Israelis or the Jews, I learned about my own trauma. I understood where am I stuck in these places of victimhood. Where am I? Can I choose to step out of this triangle of the perpetrator, the victim, and the savior? Yeah, and any conflict, we take one of these, either the perpetrator or the victim or the savior. And I can step outside of this triangle and make a choice, even when I am a victim of the situation. And here's the thing, like I was born and raised in Bet Sahur. I witnessed both intifadas, the first and the second. And for the past 12 years, I've been married. I am moved to live inside Israel to an Arab citizen of Israel. And that put me in a place where I'm always told, yeah, living in Israel must be more freed for me. But actually, all my life has shifted, and I became even more restricted. All of a sudden, I don't have citizenship. I don't have bank account. I'm not allowed to drive. I gave birth to children who were registered with my husband. They were not registered with me. So in the times of Corona, when we wanted to do tests, I was not allowed to take my children to do the test because I had nothing to prove that I am the mother. So I was in a situation where I felt like you can feel it, yeah, a strong woman being taken away of her rights. What will happen, yeah? And actually, Etty Hillesum helped me to. I can make a choice, even when I'm a victim, even when I am taken out of all these powers and dealing with bureaucracy again and again and again. Um, and when we thought about creating the cards, it was after giving birth to my second daughter where I felt like I want to feel my power. I want to feel that I'm giving something to the world. So we didn't think anything that it will get anywhere, yeah? And in the rituals, in the Holocaust memorial rituals, we started at the end of, like, usually at the end of ritual we create a prayer space, and we started to give kind of sentences of her writings, of her diaries to them. And first it was in English, and then we added the Hebrew, and then we added the Arabic. So in 2019, a conversation between me and Ayman, we said, okay, maybe we should create the cards officially. So we took the permission from the Etty Hillesum Center in Holland, and they fully supported us. They gave us the full diaries, and we took 100 quotes in English, and we translated them into Arabic and Hebrew, and we created also a booklet, also in the three languages, to share something about who she is and the topics that she tackles in her diaries. Yes, here's what Emma's holding. Maybe we go to you have the yes. Maybe we go to the next quote. Emma, what do you think?
So yes, I feel the next quote is about woman's historical task because
Yes, exactly. That's why I said let's go for that.
yeah, because I feel when we hear you, we feel the woman power in you. And Etty was ahead of her time to know, like, both in her spirituality. She meditated before in the West. It was kind of popular to have meditation seminars or something like this, and also ahead of her time in her feminist way of thinking. Like, if I look also at the people who are here, we are mainly women. Thank you also for the men who joined, but it's a lot of woman power. And if we look at the war situation, the war society, we can see how it's led by men. And it brings deep thoughts and deep questions of what is our task as women, and especially as women leadership. I can hear, when Dina speaks, when May speaks, I can hear the power of strong women who can change the world. And Etty wrote about it. Dina, maybe you read it.
Okay. I thought woman's historical task for the future was to show the man the road to his own soul through her soul. And I also think that the most important pioneers of the future will be those men who have a high dose of femininity and yet are real men.
Hmm.
You want to read it in Hebrew and Arabic or no need?
No, I think we stay with this.
Okay.
So Eddie says to us, it's not just about, sometimes it brings anger, yeah, that when men are leading a world and leading a game of a violent game of competition and ego. And how do we face it and feel not being deprived of our power, that okay, this is a world and what is ours to do. And for me, it was really inspiring to see how Etty's very private, intimate questions were connected to the political global questions. How we are with the men around us, how we help men to connect with our hearts when they are disconnected, to connect with their soul, with their soulfulness. Is it possible for us to shift energy, to shift from violence to soulfulness? And how, especially as women, it's our task to help men to connect with their souls. And I want to share another quote that for me was maybe the main quote that accompanied me since the beginning of the war. On the 7th of October, two cousins of my mother were killed. And this quote really helped me to remember my heart and to remember my inner work. Um, so I'll show the quote and I'll read it. Etty wrote, "Give your sorrow all the space and shelter in yourself that is its due. For if everyone bears his grief honestly and courageously, the sorrow that now fills the world will abate. But if you do not clear a decent shelter for your sorrow, and instead reserve most of the space inside you for hatreds and thoughts of revenge, from which new sorrows will be born for others, then sorrow will never cease in this world and will multiply." So this quote really speaks about the importance of the inner work and the grief work. I know also in Satyam you held a lot of grief rituals, and I give a lot of thanks for it. I feel every grief ritual is really deep activism. And we want to hold a kind of a grief ritual with you now. Um, Dina and I created a ritual that is a grief ritual, a long grief ritual. Um, it's online. You can see a recording and approach it also as a ritual. We asked her, like, we got really crazy with this issue of so many children being killed. We couldn't sleep at night with this situation. And we asked ourselves, what is ours to do? How can we bring up our voice? How can we create something that helps us to be connected with our soul, with our heart, and with our grief? And it was before the International Holocaust Memorial Day on January, where we made a call and invited people who want to read the names of the children from Gaza, from West Bank, from Lebanon, and from Israel, who most of them are from Gaza, of course. Children who were killed during that time, it was more than 13,000 children. By now, it's many more, some thousands more. And we wanted to connect with the souls of the children and invite people to read the names one by one and give respect for each soul, for each child, for each name of a child that was killed. So it's a ritual. We recorded 231 volunteers, each one reading 50 names. All in all, it's 36 hours of video of ritual. And we want to show you a part of this video we made, the introduction
But
actually for the
maybe,
ritual.
Emma, before that, just to say, like when we created the cards, we were approached by filmmakers from Holland, and it was on the same date in 2019. We both took part in a reading the names ritual in Westerbork, which is a camp in Holland that Etty Hillesum was in, and she wrote many letters from there. And it was reading the names of the people who were transported from Westerbork to Auschwitz. So we were there part of a Zen peacemakers retreat in that camp, and also we were part of reading the names. So we read names in Holland, in Dutch, like the full name and the age. And we had to practice to read the names in Dutch. And we thought,
It is.
yeah, and we thought, okay, on the Holocaust Memorial, on the International Holocaust Memorial Day, we do something around reading the ritual, the names of the children who were killed in the war. So we read the full name of the children with their ages, organized by alphabetically by the family name. So at one point, you can see who are siblings when you read it, when you listen to the names, or when people were reading it. And we had people from different parts of the world, including Israel, Palestine. And now we want to show you a presentation. We couldn't, of course, have the pictures of all the children for different reasons. So we took it's around 50 pictures of children killed in the different areas, not only in Gaza, but mainly it was a lot from Gaza. So you will see the name and the age with the background song in Arabic.
This, you want to say something about the song?
The song is sung by a Palestinian. Her name is Marwa Abu Jwele. And the song is Ruh. Ruh is soul. This is like, it's kind of it's like a grieving ritual. So we will hold a short grieving ritual
Mm.
watching these pictures or this presentation.
So we invite you to hold your hearts. It's not easy. The photos are so beautiful, and these are all children who were killed. So we come together and we connect with the power of the circle of the people who are here, and remember that our grief is our power of activism, of not being indifferent, of not just ignoring what's happening.
يا روح 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 روحي يا روح صار فينا نروح وابوس الروح حالات الروح روحي يا روح صار فينا نروح وابوس الروح حالات الروح روحي يا روح صار فينا نروح وابوس الروح حالات الروح وروحي يا روح صار فينا نروح وابوس الروح حالات الروح يا روح 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 يا روح
We want to take a moment to take it in. I see a lot of tears. I invite us to close our eyes. Put a hand on our heart. Feel our heart. Allow ourselves to feel whatever we feel, being it anger, grief, rage, or even closeness. We give space for our feelings. And we give sorrow all the space that is its due. We call this event, this gathering, the thinking heart. We stay with our heart. We breathe into our heart. Allowing our hearts to feel is our form of activism. Invite us to open our eyes. We'll read a quote from Etty about the thinking heart. We'll read it in the 3 languages.
You want me to read it, Emma?
Yes.
In English? Women and girls often told me during the day, we don't want to think. We don't want to feel. Otherwise, we're sure to go out of our minds. I was sometimes filled with an infinite tenderness and lay awake for hours, letting all the many, too many impressions of a much too long day wash over me. And I prayed, let me be the thinking heart of these barracks.
נשים ונערות נהגו לומר לי במשך היום, אנחנו לא רוצות לחשוב, אנחנו לא רוצות לחוש, אחרת נצא מדעתנו. לפעמים היה ממלא אותי רוך אינסופי, והייתי שוכבת ערה שעות ארוכות, נותנת לכל המאורעות והרשמים הרבים מדי של יום ארוך מדי לעבור לנגד עיניי, והייתי מתפללת. מי ייתן ואהיה הלב החושב של המחנה.
قالت لي الفتيات والنساء غالبا أثناء اليوم: نحن لا نريد أن نفكر، لا نريد أن نشعر، فنحن على يقين بأننا سنجن. لقد كنت أشعر أحيانا بعطف غير محدود، وأبقى متمددة مستيقظة لساعات، جاعلة الكثير من الانطباعات في اليوم الطويل جدا أن تغمرني. وعندها صليت: اجعلني يا رب القلب المفكر لهذه السكنات. We want to show you now, before we go into breakout rooms, one part of our movie where, like we mentioned, when you go to our website, you will find the cards and there's a link to the movie. There's also a link to the ritual. So you can see all of that online. But we will show you now our friend Said. It was a circle in Bethlehem where I presented the cards and we worked with the cards. And he reads this quote in Arabic. There's with subtitles in English, so you can read in English. And he shares how this card touches him. And from there, we give you a question and then we send you to breakout rooms.
Okay.
السنة الماضية أنا وصديقة لإلي إسرائيلية إيما شامبا، بعض منكم بيعرفها، عملنا هاي الكارتات، أخدنا كتاباتها مع الرسائل اللي كانت تكتبها أثناء وجودها بوستربورغ اللي هو واحد من الثكنات العسكرية بهولندا واللي كان منها ينتقلوا اليهود على أوشفيتس. أخدنا 100 مقولة وعملناهم إنجليزي عبري وعربي. اسحب بس ما تقرأوش يعني تقرأوهنش بالعالي، خدوا الكارتات. طلعي عليه، طلعوا على المقولة. وين هاي المقولة بتصيبني أنا؟ وين بتصيبني لما أنا بطلع على حياتي وكيف تأثرت حياتي وكيف تأثرت بسبب الوضع الإسرائيلي الفلسطيني بسبب الاحتلال. مين بتحب تقرأ المقولة وتشارك؟
قالت لي الفتيات والنساء غالبا أثناء اليوم: نحن لا نريد أن نفكر، لا نريد أن نشعر، فنحن على يقين بأننا سنجن. لقد كنت أشعر أحيانا بعطف غير محدود، وأبقى متمددة مستيقظة لساعات، جاعلة الكثير من الانطباعات في اليوم الطويل جدا أن تغمرني. وعندها صليت: اجعلني يا رب القلب المفكر لهذه السكنات. It's a very powerful one. وكمان يعني هي أكتر إشي صاب يعني أثار انتباهي في المقولة هي آخر جملة: اجعلني يا رب القلب المفكر لهذه السكنات. على قد ما يعني حسيت قديش ممكن تنعكس هون، قديش نحنا ساكنين بمحل مليان أشياء سوداء ومليان شر ومليان خوف ومليان وجع ومليان حقد ومليان كراهية. قديش طمأنينة لما بتيجي من جوا بتكون إشي حقيقي ومعاش. يعني هي لما يعني حسيت فيها يعني بنُص هذا المحل اللي هالقد صعب عمّالة بتحكي اجعلني يا رب القلب المفكّر لهذه الكلمات، يعني قديش صعب إنه بنُص كل هذا هالقد القلب لساته بيحكي، هالقد القلب لساته بيتواصل مع هذه القوة اللي نحن بنحط فيها إيمان كبير بنخلّيها تكون سند لإلنا. فهاي يعني الصلاة اللي صلّيتها حسّيت إنه نحن بدنا نصلّيها. نحن بالشغل بكل شي بنعمله اجعلنا القلب المفكّر لهذا المكان اللي إحنا فيه.
إمم.
ف يعني أثّرت فيّ كتير. يا وقديش نحن بنضل نكون القلب المفكّر في نُص هذا الجنون اللي نحن عايشين فيه هون. القلب المفكّر كمان الجملة كتير مركبة. القلب بيروح بفكّرش كتير، العقل بفكّر بيحلّل والقلب بيروح. القلب المفكّر عشان نضلنا كمان balance نضل واعيين.
إمم.
ففيها كتير وعي، فيها كتير عمق. هلأ جملة من 5 كلمات.
اهم.
آه.
إمم.
Okay. We're going now to send you into breakout rooms. In each breakout rooms, how many? 3 or 4, May?
Yeah, dear. It can be 4 in each room, so you take your time, and we encourage you to really bring yourselves and your hearts. Yeah.
So the question is, like, please pay attention to the time, yeah? And in the sharing, it's not about giving advice or interrupting. Like, be really in the listening, unless something you didn't understand. So we're only listening when the person is speaking. And the question is, what does it mean for me now to be the thinking heart in these times? Where this touches me, how do I see it manifested in my life? So, like, pay attention to the time. Please be lean so the others can share and be in the listening. It's not about right or wrong.
Welcome everybody back. It's always good to see how meaningful it is to have this deep connections, even if it's on Zoom, to speak about things like the thinking heart, to remind us of our soul, of our humaneness. And we want to collect 2, 3 people to hear what came up to you in the breakout rooms. What does it mean to be a thinking heart in such times?
And please be lean so we can take as many voices as possible.
Mhm. Mm. You can unmute yourself. Yes.
Yes.
We each spoke in our own language, and for me and for each of the others, I think it was the thinking heart expressed,
Hmm.
very heartful.
Hmm. Thank you. If you also wish to ask questions, you can also ask.
Miriam, I see you want to share.
You're right. Hello. So good to see you.
Hi, Miriam.
Hi. So in our group, we had also beautiful conversation, and in the end, we came to the conclusion that you have always the choice to go the hard way or to choose the heart way. And that makes the difference of how you can deal with the situation, with anything that comes, and also especially in times of war.
Yeah, beautiful. Hmm. The hard way and the hard way. Thank you. One more.
Okay. Actually, I was afraid to join this meeting because I was not sure to bear the closeness with with uh, let's say the situation, maybe my emotional situation, and at the same time, as emotions were building up during my day, I'm so grateful to went with the fear to the place now to to give it shelter. Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining and sharing from your heart.
Thank you for your transparency. Yeah.
Hmm. So, May, you wanna, or Nahar, you wanna share more about Satyam? I see you shared within the chat.
Yes, yeah, for sure. So this is the next stage. So if Emma and Dina, you feel you concluded, then I can go on to share some more about the little that I know about Satyam and things you can do to help continue growing this movement and spread this message. So if you can look on the chat, there are a few different links that I sent. You can join the SATYAM WhatsApp group where we post every day the times of the Zoom and sometimes other inspirational initiatives that Satyam is involved with. We also have a Telegram group, Instagram, and Facebook. Um, there are different ways that we can help grow this movement. Can join in actual fasting, and you can do it in different ways that make sense for your body and your situation. I, for example, fasted for one day, and then I did other actions that made sense for me. I wrote a song, and I'm supporting this Zoom right now, and I sent it to some friends, some international friends. So there are really many different kinds of ways that you can participate. Um, so wanted to say that. And let's see what else is on here. There is a retreat that is happening this weekend. I think it would make more sense for maybe Mike to talk about it. Do you want to say something?
Mm. I just want to thank you, Nahar.
Mhm.
And again, Dina and Emma, truly honor you, truly honor your journey, your teaching. It touched me really, really deeply, even though I know you and I know your work. And you were also here previously in Satyam, and yet it's really very strong to me the way it builds me and the way it empowers me and the way it helps me understand and connect also to this hunger strike and to the intentions and the reasons to why we are in this willingness to do it. Yeah, this is our eighth day, me and David. And as Nahar said, other people joined differently. Some people were with us for a few days, others were for 24 hours. and other people who are supporting and striking differently using their platforms or connections or many art, many different ways. And again, there are the links of Emma and Dina. I wish for you to also go visit their website. It's a website that I, again, was touched, and there are people that gives the prayers to my heart and gives me also, it gives me such inspiration also to my writing, also to my wording of these atrocities that we are going through. Again, this hunger strike and Satyam is for all of us to choose each other. It's a reminder and a remembrance that we don't have to choose either or. You don't have to choose a Palestinian or an Israeli. We are calling everyone to choose each other, to choose everyone equally, to truly do it this time from our hearts to politics and not vice versa, not starting from the system down. Now we have learned that it's from here. It's truly from our bodies, it's truly from our souls. And this is our invitation for you to go through the links to see what touches you, what empowers you, what can you do, what can you bring, what would it bring also healing to your heart that you contribute of your teaching, wisdom, activism, platforms, media, songs, we welcome all of you to join. We welcome all of you to also honor yourselves for coming, for choosing this journey as much as we truly honor you. And to connect to the community, as Nahar said, we have a retreat coming this weekend physically in Satyam Homeland in Bejala. We have shared and posted around about it, and we invite you to send it to friends that you know who are here and needs to be part of a community and needs to be held whilst we are taking this big approach of nonviolent resistance. The community is open at all times for you to come, for you to be in togetherness, again, to bring yourself and your learnings to give to us and to be received and held also by us. And thank you so much. We, for the ones that wish to stay updated, we invite you to again remember to follow the links to the WhatsApp and the website and media of Satyam and also Dina and Emma. You will find the links to the Etty and what they did and the kids. I think everything is there and the full film as well for you to watch and maybe even carry it to your communities to also watch and bring this learning to everybody and expand this abundance that we have and the beauty of women and women learning and giving and holding. I'm so deeply grateful again to all of you. Iris, tomorrow we will be held and we will be blessed, my dear. I have not walked a long journey with Iris, but we have worked a tough journey together and held a lot together. And I am grateful that tomorrow she will be with us, bringing Faricia from Nablus and her continuous protective presence there from settlers' attacks and settlers' invasion and from displacement of Palestinians, uh, Bedouins from the West Bank that is happening now. She will share about her amazing, brave daughter that continues to inspire us, who chose not to go to the military, but to bring awareness actually also to Iris, her mother, who only met the Palestinians when she was 52. So again, we invite you to be with us tomorrow, to come, to continue inviting your friends, to continue inviting, to know that you are received by us continuously. Thank you. Blessings to all of you, Emma and Dina. Thank you so much again. Thank you. Thank you for all the learning. Such a blessing to have you.